And we are in business. Welcome to our afternoon for first Sunday in December for what we refer to as our topical Q&A session, or as I say, anything goes. No topics are off limits. Here's an opportunity to ask or discuss anything under the sun, where it could be the Bible, could be God, could be the church, could be the world, could be life, anything and everything. We'll try to find a scriptural place for it. As always, I don't pretend to have all the answers, but we can have some discussion, look to some scriptures. And I must say, as I try to find the best positioning for all this high-tech stuff here, I feel kind of funny because I got two fan blades behind me. I feel like I'm I'm in a plane with propellers about ready to take off. Um, but yeah, but other than that, now I just need one of those hats that has a propeller on it, from back then. So yeah, it'll be a white elephant Christmas gift. Yes, yeah. But hello, good to be with you. Looking forward to this as I always do very much. I really appreciate where your hearts and minds are and the different thoughts you come up with. Always some really good questions. So where are you at? Anything you'd like to talk about? Anything you'd like to ask about? Sister Carolyn. That's great. That's what we're here for. Yes.
Okay. I know why you are interested in that.
But why should anyone else be?
All these people in jail even to go see where Mount Sinai, is.
Yes.
Why?
Great question. So Sister Carolyn asks from the Sunday school class, why are these people, she gets, my interest in this stuff, but because she knows me and my nerdy thing and love for scripture in the Bible, and tell me more details. But why are these other people so compelled and driven that they risk and experience incarceration for this? We saw where Ron Wyatt was, what did they say, 78 days? And then with the Caldwells, how the father and son were arrested and detained for hours, and how folks came out waving submachine guns at their 7-year-old and 9-year-old kid. And we'll talk more about that as through future segments as we go through that. So Sister Carolyn's question, if I'm understanding, is why are they doing this? And I think the answer is, and this is something that I highly appreciate, is that, to quote Fox Mulder from the X-Files, the truth is out there. There's some people who have the attitude, and I understand, and it's well-intentioned in the meaning that these are things that we are to take on by faith, and therefore we leave it at that. I'm all for accepting things by faith. God said it, it happened, I believe it, end of story. But that doesn't mean we can't rejoice in discovering, as I love to hearken back to, the scientific revolution wasn't a bunch of atheists disproving God. It was a bunch of Christians celebrating God and discovering the details of what those folks in the scientific revolution, they're pretty much all Christians. And they were glorifying God in their discoveries of how God was making things work. And what I appreciate is that this stuff is not intended just for Bible nerds like me. I like how in the chosen Bible studies, they have little sections for Bible nerds like us. For those who really want a little more detail, there's little side things. And so what I love about the Lord and his word, it's never intended for just the huddle of preachers, hashing things out. It's intended for the quote unquote, the common man. That's why the Bible has always been translated and updated, even in English versions, to the current language, because it's supposed to be for common people to be able to pick it up. And yeah, sometimes it gets kind of wordy or involved, especially Paul's writing. It's why we take time, try to break it down. But again, the whole point, going to Sister Carolyn's question, is God's intention for his word and his truth is to be accessible to the common man. So part of the problem we'll see that happened with folks like Ron Wyatt and the Caldwells and others is that because they weren't official archaeologists or scientists or whatever, that they were kind of blown off or not taken seriously. But who were they? They were men and women and families who loved God, believed his word, and had the same attitude and approach that I did before I became a baptized member of the Lord's work, before I was ever called to the ministry. I knew that since the Bible says what it says such big epic things, this earth cannot help but have been affected by that, and therefore have the evidence of that show. And so we see the Grand Canyon as evidence of the flood. We see all these things. And so these people were driven by the same thing I was, a love for the Lord and a recognition this has got to be there to be seen. and not to challenge or question the Bible, quite the opposite, to celebrate God's word. Because we have such faith that it's true, the evidence has to be there. And when we look with the right place and time, we do see it. So, but the fact that they are willing to endure incarceration, willing to sneak into Saudi Arabia, risking, submachine guns being waved at their 7 and 9-year-old boy and girl, that's not something the ordinary person would do. And so it takes a great love for the Lord. And I think there may be some Baptist in their heritage, because it's like, you're not going to tell me no. You ever want to get a Baptist to do something, tell them they can't.
It's called Sergio and Rhoda in Israel. And they're so fun and they're so young and I love their energy. And but she's from Iran. He's from Israel. They got married, right?
Beautiful.
Normally don't go together, but they go well. And I just saw them being interviewed by someone else the other day, and they're like, "Why do you live in Israel, right?" And he's like, "How do you not?" He goes,
Yeah.
"When we read the Bible, and we'll look at each other and we're like, we can go there.
Right.
Let's go." And there's so many areas, it blows my mind, that are unoccupied.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just went, I think their last one that I watched, they went to the land where Judas hung himself.
Okay, yeah. Hakeldama, the field of blood, yeah.
I was watching it, and they were saying how eerie it was, because like there was no one around, especially what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Even where the tourists and stuff would go and pay, and it was like everything's open.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody standing there, it's open to go look at. But and so it's just that, like, that love as a Christian.
Yeah.
He's like, and we have them there. Like,
yes,
it's the word of God. It's here, and we can go. It's one of, I can't remember which well. It's in the Bible that is in their backyard.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, and it's just that passion that they have for God, like you said, and it gives them that drive. Like, how do you not read it and then not go there when we know we can? It's right there.
Exactly.
And he's got the drones now, and they bumped up how they can do things. But
sure.
But I'd be that person. I'd be like, okay, bye.
Right.
Going. They take all kinds of footage and pictures, and they do all kinds of cool stuff. And he's almost, they're both kind of so geeky that they don't realize the danger, which is kind of fun, except there have been a couple times where she was like, "We could have just been killed."
Yeah.
When they were looking at the Judas area, there was no one around, and there were some caves, and they were even saying it does feel very dark.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a different spirit here. And then they went into one of the caves, and one of the Iranian men, and they're so angry all the time, I can't figure it out now, but anyway.
Y'all need Jesus.
Yell and scream. And I don't, what would be Arabic?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe Parsi. Yeah.
Spoke his language. He goes, I think we would have been killed if I wasn't able to reason.
Wow.
And just say, hey, we're just here. Like, we're not foreigners. We're not trying to do anything weird or anything.
Right.
But when they got into their car, she was like, we really could have been killed. And I think if I didn't speak the language, we would have been. And it was like, ooh, that's
wow.
That's really heavy. But they're so cute. Because
almost an innocence. Yeah, the innocent joy.
See with like little spark.
Yeah.
Under them to want to go investigate.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that. I've shared with y'all how I missed an opportunity to go to the Holy Land when I was close to it, stationed on Crete for a year in the Navy. But then I think about afterwards, of course, it would have been great to go. No ifs, ands, or buts, especially earlier more than later. But part of me thinks that had I gone, that part of me would be disappointed because all these holy places where things happened, there are all these shrines and monuments over on top of it. And like, I don't want to see, I mean, as artistic and beautiful as that is, I want to see the dirt. I know it looks like the same dirt over there but it's not. This is the dirt where these things happen. I don't want to see a monument to where it was. I want to see the actual spot, and things like that. So yeah, so there is that joy of these things. So I'm grateful for Google Earth right now. That's as far as I'm going to get to some of these places, and maybe some of the rest of us too. But yeah, and I think so. There's a flip side to that. Okay, why are these on the? So there are two questions to ask. One, the very rightful question Sister Carolyn asked: what compels people like this to do that, to take these risks? But then on the other hand, like the Caldwell lady was saying, what are they hiding? Why are they working so hard and being so threatening over this? And one thought is with Saudi Arabia, of course, being Muslim, having two of the three holy places, Mecca and Medina there, the other one, of course, being Jerusalem, where they have their annual Hajj pilgrimages, once a year to go to these places. And so for being such a high holy place for the Muslim world, to have the Mount Sinai and everything right there, popular attractions for Jews and Christians, that might not be so well received, or they not something they want to highlight or recognize, especially as there is such an effort to deny the legitimacy of the Jewish faith and history. De facto, to have a place that's recognized as where they were 1400 BC, that's kind of throwing a wrench in those works too. So there's resistance as well, but determination. Okay, sometimes it's like, don't tell me no. It's like, okay, what are you hiding, kind of thing. I want to go in, but also the love for the Lord and the conviction and just the desire to see a little more of the detail of his working. Want to be careful not to turn it into an idol like they did the brass serpent of Moses later on. That had to be destroyed. But I think we can strike that balance between not idolizing these things and having them become objects of faith, but still appreciating God did something. He did something here. He did something with this. And we can still see these things today. There's actually a king of Assyria who got killed while he was worshiping a plank from the Ark of Noah. Got killed by his own sons. So yeah, fascinating stuff. Brother Clay.
There a debate going on between three of them, where Mount Sinai is here, or is it over here? Who cares? For one,
Sure.
it's there,
Mm-hmm.
just like the other one that they call a rock.
The rock and Horeb, yeah.
It's actually a mountain. That to me, you say, well, it's not this one that looks like a rock. It's this one that looks like a mountain. Why are they calling that a rock? Do you follow? You know what I'm talking about from a couple weeks ago?
Yes, and we'll be continuing with that in these next sessions. Yeah,
I mean, okay, that's cool, but for people that I'm right, I was right, but it doesn't change a word of the Bible.
Exactly, 100%.
So to me, I mean, I'm just not that kind of person.
Right.
Some of it's interesting. But I'm always thinking, finding that, and it's been how many years ago?
We're in 2024, so 3,500, 3,400 years, yeah.
Yeah, the pyramids they dissolved into the ground in a lot of them,
Yeah, we've seen that.
So I mean that's what kind of, I mean,
sure.
I kind of have this. What was that the other day? There was just this morning something about dating something back to 5 million years or old or whatever, and I'm joking to her. I said, well, why isn't it 5 million years and 2 days?
Mm-hmm.
If they can date things, I mean, I
the precision is in question.
Come up with, but anyway, that's just my view on it. I'm not this old truck guy was grumpy.
Well, thank you, Brother Grumpy. But there's a healthy skepticism to be had, and we don't want to get too caught up in these things. So I appreciate that very much and agree with that. I encourage you all to be open-minded skeptics. Be open to different things, but don't just blindly follow me or anyone else also. And as I've want to say every so often to remind you and myself, anything I'm presenting as we're looking to these things is from my personal evaluation of these different options and presentations. These guys think it's over here, these guys think it's over there, this rock, that rock. What seems to be the best fit with the Bible? And again, using Occam's razor without having to add a bunch to it, we shave away all the unnecessary stuff. What's the simplest answer that satisfies all of the requirements of the Bible? And go with that. And so that's what I try to present. And I recognize and I learn as I go, okay, I was mistaken before on that. So anything I present, it's not, this is 100% it, case closed. This is from all the information that's currently available, this is what looks to be the best and most likely answer for what happens. And it's kind of neat to see. And you can see where, as we talk even on Wednesday nights, where things happening. Okay, here's the Bible verses. Here are the events of current, modern times in history. Wow, look at how much they seem to be lining up. How many times can we just write it off as coincidence? There seems to be patterns and things happening. So yeah, very important to recognize these things, but be able to come to our own conclusions and know that, again, back to Fox Mulder, the truth is out there. And these things are there. And some of them are pretty readily and obvious and can be seen and are only denied by those who, as we talked over lunch, and we'll see this in the film too, those who are already married to an agenda or a mindset, and they just can't allow themselves to go there. And so I just can't allow myself to go there to the thought of God being real, because then I've got to answer to this God if he is real. So I'll say everything else is possible, aliens, whatever, just not God. And then go from there. So that's kind of a human rebellion thing. Yeah.
She was like, do that.
So the question was, who besides you, Eric, who else would think to do that, Sister Peggy? Yeah, pretty much. Right on, good stuff. Yeah, yeah. Actually have a shot of him that I've used in Sunday school, back to the Egyptian things with the staff of the sun god Ra and all that. Yeah, fun stuff, good stuff. What else you got?
I'm gonna ask a question, but it's not. Well, of course, I wasn't here last Sunday, but I was for lunch. Anyway, we were talking about something, and I said it out loud. That would make a good topic for our question and answer, but I can't remember what it was.
Of course. Yeah, we'll have to make a mental note, but I'm terrible at mental notes. That's why I have sticky notes everywhere. So if it comes back to you before next time around, jot it down.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There you go. Right on. Anyone else? Any questions about Bible, God, church, life, the world? Anything at all? What you saw on TV last week? All good? We don't have to be any long or short or anything. There are no time requirements here. I'm at your service as much as you desire and need. And if not, we can always call it quits early. There's no problem with that either. Going once.
About the funeral
And we can do that after we wrap up this. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, and then that will give us time to address that, and then we can go from there. So as again, always appreciate you guys. Looking forward to this time where we can just kind of not be on a set schedule with like how we're going through different classes or sermon series or anything like that. Just be kind of free and random, and anything that's on your heart and mind, I'm here for. And so if something occurs to you before the next Q&A, feel free to check in with me, and I'm happy to be there for you. So we'll go ahead and stop this for now and call that a day for that. And then we'll continue some other discussion on some upcoming plans from there. So tune in next time. Tune in next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Yes.